Ladies, gentlemen, gentle people, gentle gender fluids, gentle undecideds, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you are, whatever piece of the space and time continuum that you currently occupy, welcome to episode 45 of Apologies Up Front. I'm your host. Tonight I am identifying as Megan the Stallion. Megan the Stallion. Adjust your phones accordingly. Coming to you live, 22:52 on the drive home from Belfast. Headed to Bray. We have just crossed over into the rep of Ireland. I'm nursing a Sprite Zero and can number 2 of 2 of Red Bull. Bit delirious, starting to see things, but it is what it is. On the way back from the Pavilion, which is a historic Monday night comedy gig in Belfast. And great lineup of comedians: Rory Woods, Pete Giffen, and then others who I can't remember. But the crowd were, so they had, I'd say 30 people, so 15 on one side, 15 on the other. And the 15 on the right, as you're looking off the stage, looked like they were at a funeral. It was hilarious. And then on the other side, they were up for it. They were like, we're in our 40s, we don't get out much, and they were brilliant. Excuse me, that Red Bull's repeating on me. I'm not used to the full sugar Red Bull. So yeah, it was all right. Like, it was grand. Always good to catch up with everybody up here and just slowly getting the year moving again. I'll be back up again next month. But I'm trying to think what else has been going on. I say I'm identifying as Megan the Stallion. I'm only saying that because I only discovered her like 3 days ago, because I didn't know she was on the WAP song. I thought that was just Cardi B, who is another favourite in our house. What a woman she is. But Megan the Stallion is another one. You can tell, like, how Irish fellas like to be treated by what female hip hoppers they like. Cardi B and Megan the Stallion. I tell you, if they tell you to take the bins out, you take the bins out. You know what I mean? They know what they want, you know? And they'll tell you about it repeatedly and loudly while shaking their ample bottoms, which is basically what all Irish men want. Tell us what you want. Just shake your bum at us while you're telling us. That goes for you too, ladies. Not you two, the band. I mean, you as well. Oh yes, I can't wait for you ladies to take over the world, so I can sleep my way to the middle. Jesus Christ, there's a truck flashing at me. So yeah, I'm basically talking to you to try and stay awake because I'm very tired. Oh, very, very tired. So yeah, this weekend was mostly spent drinking. Huge amounts. We had the kid's birthday party. Excuse me, sorry. Only a week late. I'm not coughing for any other reason than I just can't breathe. Week late. They were 10 on a week ago. And so I brought them to Bray Bowl, which, like, if those walls could talk, they'd have stories. But there was 16 of them, right? Now I would hope I'm good with my own children. I like them quite a lot. It's bordering on love. They're beautiful little yolks. I like listening to them. I like talking to them. I like hearing them tell stories, figuring out how their little brain works, how they see the world, and it helps me to communicate with them. But then when they're around their friends, I realize how much I do not like other people's children. They are annoying little shit bags. Sorry, it's 1 degree. I can't drive this fast. They little things that I don't remember being allowed say or do to my parents or my friends' parents, like answering back. Like if if I answered my friends' parents back the way some of them were answering me back on Saturday, like they wouldn't find me. I'd be like part of the disappeared. It was the 80s. People just disappeared. And a lot of them were just kids who talk back to parents. Sometimes I'm standing in Tesco just stalking a child and their parents, waiting for the child to give some shit to the parents to see what will happen. Because back in the day, there was nothing said if a parent walked up and clattered their child and then walked up the feckin' sausage aisle. Just shut the fuck up, bang. You know? Whereas now you have to kind of reason with them and talk to them as if they're fully grown humans. But they're not. Like if they were, they'd be allowed to drive, they'd be allowed to drink, they'd be allowed to decide what gender they are. Oh, here we go. It's nearly 11 p.m. You know, but they're kids, so they're not. It's actually the gender thing set me off. So a lot of us were sitting there chatting before the gig, and they were talking about Graham Linehan, our friend Graham Linehan, and I was saying, much like we've had the conversation a million times, I was like, I would know nothing about the guy if it wasn't for my LGBTQ plus friends sharing it and getting angry with it. And he's like, yeah, everyone's kind of going, just write some new stuff, will you please? But then once you kind of get that level that everyone agrees with, people will push something, you know? They kind of go like, oh, sure, all he's asking is like, all he's saying is vaginas should be allowed to use the vagina bathroom and penis is the penis bathroom. And then if there's another one for trans men and trans women, that's fine. And like I hadn't met I met a few of these people today. I hadn't met all of them. And I kind of said, look, it's not really, I'm not going to feel threatened going to the toilet, standing up or sitting down. And like, if you were to transition from a woman to a man, fair play to you. But you wouldn't want to share a bathroom with me. Like if you were a woman, you wouldn't want to share a woman. You wouldn't want to share a bathroom with me. But my contribution to the conversation in the comedy club was, I'm not going to feel threatened. I don't care. But it's more the other way. If I transition to be a woman, you need to ask your mum, your sister, your wife, your female friends what it would be like for me to walk in there. You know? Because yes, I transitioned to being a woman and all that sort of stuff. But it's not really, part of it is my journey, but part of it is, what do you think? How comfortable are you? The whole idea of transitioning is to make someone feel comfortable in their own skin. And then they're going to make people uncomfortable by walking into a bathroom. The answer is make 2 more bathrooms. That's it. Like, it's not about sport or like letting trans men, is that the one where it goes women to men, compete with men? It's not important. The sport thing is kind of a red herring. It's not important. Because the most important part is the support on the journey. I shouldn't be allowed to compete in a contact sport with a born woman. Like, that doesn't mean I'm less of a woman if I was to transition. It just means it's not fair. Sport is all about fairness. I'm 42. Even if I go on whatever you call the thing, testosterone eradication medicine, whatever it is, I have no idea, for 2 years, I'm still stronger, faster than most. Not all. Like there's obviously elite women. So for example, I keep saying it in the gym. Like the thing that gets thrown back when you try and have this conversation, which is impossible, is yeah, but there's still women who could beat you up. 100%. I've been beaten up by women, not just in a sexy way, in a sparring way. An elite woman would knock my bollocks in and off. She would make me eat my own penis, and I would not be able to do anything about it. But that's the exception. That's not the rule. It's kind of sexy as well. But that's the exception, not the rule. For the most part, if I was to transition, so 44, let's say 44, I go and join a Thai boxing club, MMA gym, whatever it is, boxing club, as a 44-year-old woman. Nella. Okay? And I start sparring. If it's a normal 42-year-old woman, born woman, who's trained the same as me, same experience or whatever, I will damage that woman. And that's not kind of, oh no, but no, it's kind of, it either is what it is or it isn't what it is. Like there's no, this is my truth. It is the truth. Now, Katie Taylor walks in. I'm in hospital. And Katie Taylor is, what does she fight at? Let's say it's 140. Let's say it's 10 stone. I have 2.5 stone on her. And I'm in hospital. That's the exception. It's not the rule. I don't know. It's just interesting that people will live in the, it's not post-truth. That was like a weird thing that Blind Boy said, like to sound intelligent. It's not post-truth, it's my truth. You know what I mean? This is my truth. I was always brought up the 3 sides of the story, mine, yours, and what actually happened. There's no my truth. Like my truth isn't, you're not going to say, I'm just looking at the Speedo here. Let's just say, in case the judge is listening, I'm going 70 right now. The Speedo machine isn't going to identify me as going on 120. It's going to catch me at 70 because that's what's happening. It is what it is. And like there was a clip of, he's a funny, cute little fella, Ben Shapiro, who, look, whatever. But he was American student, like he goes and does lectures in colleges in America, and there's other, like basically everyone who thinks they're centrist but they're actually right wing, they'll go to colleges in America, knowing that their mere presence will ruin these kids' lives because they're children. They can't react rationally. They can't talk things through rationally, and it makes for great YouTube. But there was some college woman who identified as a woman, so I'm not ruining anything. He was talking about trans and all that, identifying, and that gender isn't real, sex isn't real, genitals aren't real, whatever. You can identify as whatever you want. It can change at any time. And your man Shapiro goes, well, what age are you? And she goes, whatever, 19. And he says, well, why aren't you 60? And you could see her little brain explode. It's like, why can't you identify as 60? Why can't you put 60 down on a form? She says, no, because I'm 19. He says, exactly, you are what you are. You can't just identify as something else. Now, that doesn't mean... So that's one side, right? But that doesn't mean you don't disrespect someone. So my thoughts on trans issues are from a straight white male point of view. Doesn't really count. The only thing that counts is that if I was to support my trans friends, be there for my trans friends, try and listen to my trans friends, that's My only job. What I think, my point of view on this topic, is not really important. Abortion, my thoughts are not important. I'm not carrying the baby. It's not my body. Me getting the snip, my business, not yours. And I think the world would be quite happy if the opportunity for me to procreate just drops. But, you know, I, our opinions are just, they mean nothing. They're just thoughts and they disappear. And I think people get too... I'm a big fan of Fight Club, the book, more than the film. I did read a book once. Because it's not like, it's not about the fighting and the gore and all that, and the blowing up visa and all that sort of bullshit. It's just trying to say that you're not what you think you are. You're not important. You're important to very few people. And people go, oh, that's very sad and all that sort of stuff. Like Taylor Swift, right? Multi-billionaire. I know nothing about her. And most people in the world don't know anything about Taylor Swift. And that should not have any burden on her at all. Whereas if you were to say to a Taylor Swift fan that you don't know a Taylor Swift song, they'd lose their mind. Or you don't like her songs or whatever, they would lose their mind because it means so much to them and they don't understand why it doesn't mean anything to you. Just because everyone's on their own journey. And you figure that out as you get older, you know? That's why all these Americans, they go to American colleges it's why comedians won't go to colleges. And it's why political commentators basically exclusively go to colleges. Because they know they're so easy to wind up. They're an easy audience. Good footage. I don't really know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to stay awake here, guys. Now it is 11:10 on Monday night. I'm hoping to get home by midnight. It is 2 degrees. It's gone up 1 degree. But yeah, I don't know what it's like we'll get into it now because it's late and we're both tired. But it's a weird thing because I don't understand. If you know somebody, right, there's a certain bit of, for a long time, there's a certain bit of credit, there's a certain bit of benefit of the doubt you give over things that they say that you may not necessarily agree with, right? So, back last year, I had said, because there was something about Linehan being shared around, and all I said was, freedom of speech includes the speech you don't agree with. And it was a pile-on. That's grand. I'm a big boy. Don't care. Just a pity. Certain friendships are lost. It's a pity. But like at the end of the day, if someone thinks that I would agree with everything that every human has ever said because I believe in freedom of speech, I don't want to be friends with them. Because I wish life was that simple. You know what I mean? Like, if someone says freedom of speech is important, they don't agree with Hitler. You know? And like, we really shouldn't have to say that out loud. You know? Like that whole thing we were talking about before, when people would say that and people say you're condoning X, Y, and Z. It's like, no. You're being a child. Because freedom of speech allows everyone to live how they want to live. Now, there's also your freedom. You're free to live and say what you want. You're not free from reaction or comment or discourse. That's part of freedom. You know, until you are a dictator, that's what life is. That's what the world is. But you know what I mean? If you were to say that out loud, it means you agree with people like Linehan and J.K. Rowling. I really don't know what either of them have said, outside of the couple of things that I've heard and I've said earlier on in this, which I don't think is irrational. Like, if we break it all the way down, right? And again, as a straight, white, human male, as we open most shows with, me saying, don't ask me, ask your mum, ask your wife, ask your sister, ask your cousin, ask your female friends. Let them talk to you about it. That's not me saying I don't think trans women should be allowed in the toilet. That's me saying my opinion is not the opinion you should be looking for. And I think that a lot of these things will come back to I'm asking you because I want to make you feel uncomfortable. I want to make you say something you don't want to say. But at the end of the day, on the trans issue, and it's not even an issue, discussion, it's with respect and love. I don't care. I will treat a straight, gay, lesbian, transgender, whatever it is, I will treat you exactly the same. That's it. With respect, with inclusion, and if you act a cunt, I'll treat you like a cunt. Like, that's it. No better, no worse, no in between. That's you. I don't understand what would be wrong with that. But then you see when you say that, then it causes a problem. We're kind of laying it out here at 11:15 on a Monday night. But that's what I mean. It's not. People tie themselves in such knots. Like there's like as we spoke last year, I keep bringing up. Like there's a comedy club in town that banned people who performed at another club based on a rumor. And then if you worked one place, you couldn't work in another place, as if they were running the comedy store, running, you know, the New York Comedy Club or whatever it is. I'm only saying New York because I was there and I was in there, and it's the same bullshit everywhere, same rumors everywhere. It's much worse in New York. But they're not paying anybody here. I'm one of the only promoters who pays people. Not because I'm Mother Teresa, but because you should fucking pay people. That's it. But it's just like it's kind of gotten a weird, nasty vibe over the last 8-9 months. Comedy, not outside. Like there'd be a group of people I'd be friendlier with, and then there'd be people who like I'm civil to everybody. I don't, as I said, until you cross a line. Which, if you cross a line, instead of arguing or anything like that, I don't talk about you. You cease to exist. You're blocked. But it's interesting. There's like other promoters out my eyes who will be around the same age as me, and you finish the conversation and go, we don't agree. That's fine. We don't particularly like each other. That's fine. Never really were friends. That's fine. It's not really anything else. You're not going to vibe with everybody. You don't vibe with everyone at work until you go, all right, oh, good. I don't need to interact with that person on any level. So they're blocked on all of my social medias. And then you kind of, because everybody, the world is so tiny, you kind of hear about them talking about you behind your back and you go, I'm 42. I'm 43 in March. If you're talking about me, little old me, I win. You know? If someone is taking up space in your head, they win. So I think delete is the key. Delete and block. And if people get upset about it, they get upset about it. If they're going to be children, they're going to be children. But, what are your thoughts on the toilet sharing? Because, like, I know there are people on who listen who are straight, men, women, and they're all the letters of the LGBTQ rainbow. None of you would want to share a toilet with me. Like, and I would not blame you for that at all. Oh my goodness. And I think, yeah, as well as that, I don't think my opinion's particularly important because I am not impacted by it. But you should support people. I do support people. I support everybody. I treat everybody with respect. Well, you're not supporting people if you don't think they can use the same toilet as you. I said, well, number one, if you're transitioning from a woman to a man, fair play to you, but it's up to you. It's a very different thing. If you want to share a toilet with me, I don't mean cubicle, I mean bathroom. Fine, cool, sounds good. Where's the thing here? But if it's the other way, if it's going from male to female, number one, fair play. Most importantly, fair play. But number two, that's not my. That's got nothing to do with me. That's not my issue. That's not my. I'm not unsupporting anyone by saying, speak to your ma, your wife, your cousins, your sisters, your female friends. That's not me not supporting the trans person. That's me saying, go ask the people who are affected by you walking into the toilet. And in your eyes, yes, you're a woman. And listen, in my eyes too. But it's about everybody being comfortable. It's not like me transitioning and expecting everyone to be, oh, Kigo is Kigarina now. Let's just pretend nothing happened. Let's just pretend that like this woman now spent 42 years as a man, says big shoulders, small waist, tiny legs, deep voice, all this sort of stuff. Like that's that's still getting used to on the barometer of life. The whole trans thing's, in the grand scheme of things, is about 20 minutes old. So it's not like, I'm here, this is it, now let's go. Be comfortable with it, or you're a bigot. No, that's not right. Firstly, well done, hope you're well. Secondly, the world doesn't bend to us. And it's just interesting that and I guess we all had it maybe when we were a bit younger, but I think it is different now. Like, I'm not an old man. Like, I'm healthy, strong, fast, functional human being. So I'm not over the hill. But the gap between when I grew up and now, like we said before, it's acceptable to be gay now, which is great. When I was in school, you were gay if you wore the wrong runners. You were gay if you were the last one to touch the door. So we got to understand how far we've come. But people don't really care about that. Yeah, it's weird. Like, what am I irrational about? Like, for example, I find Muay Thai fighting one of the most beautiful things to watch. But it's also barbaric. It's also frightening. It's also bloody, vicious, gory. And so I wouldn't make you, as a listener, whoever's listening, I wouldn't make you sit and watch it and demand that you enjoy it. I'd know pretty quickly whether you enjoyed it or not. But for me, it's beautiful. It's not quite beautiful when you get elbowed in the face and your head gets opened up. But there's a beautiful thing when you're on the receiving end of that, or something like that. I've had fights where my eyes get closed up. Not both of them, one of them. And you make a decision, you know what I mean? And I only like it in that I saw something recently on YouTube where someone was questioning mothers, and they were asking, would you kill for your children? And they were stuttering, and they were, maybe no. Like, for me, there's no hesitation. Yes. No question. Anyone touches my children while I'm alive, dead, deaded. Like, that's it. And that's something I'm going to have to control, because if they grow up to be straight girls, they're going to have to deal with people like me when I was a kid. And I was an absolute cunt. Like, a lot of people will say, yeah, Kiko, you still are. That's fine. But listen, there are two little baby girls at home who love me. That's my job done. So you can call me whatever you want. So I got a bit serious there. But yeah, I would like, it's weird. It was funny watching the video, and you kind of, so there were American women, different races. Um, it looked like different economical backgrounds. But again, you shouldn't do it. I guess that was the whole point of it. But every single one, I think there was 5 or 6 of them, and every single one of them thought about it. But sorry, going back to the Thai boxing. Like, I've been opened up in fights. I've, been cut pretty badly, eyes closed, all that sort of stuff. And you kind of find out a lot about yourself when you're under that kind of pressure. Because the opponent maybe has their own issues. Maybe they want to be. I never wanted to fight or be a professional fighter. I'm not that guy. Possible murderer, but not a professional fighter. But the opposition may be someone who wants to be a professional fighter, whether they've seen, his McGregor or whoever, and maybe they want to do that. So in order to do that, they have to try and inflict massive amount of pain on somebody to make them stop fighting, which I guess technically is the whole point of it. I always wanted to stop people, as in, without cutting them open badly or anything like that. Okay, a couple of times you break people's noses and stuff, like the eyes and stuff. But I always loved a body shot, because the body shot is, there's a front kick to your liver, which is my favorite, and an inside leg kick, but front kick to the liver is my favorite kick. It's not about headshots or any of that sort of stuff. Front kick or left hook to the liver. And I've been dropped with it in sparring as well. When you get hit, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't take your breath away when you're winded or whatever. And it's not like a kick in the dick or anything like that. When you get hit in the liver, in the right spot, it almost starts to fizz. Like when you drop Alka-Seltzer into a glass of water, that fizzing noise, you can almost hear and feel that on the side of your body. And it just freaks you out. And then you lose your legs, and you just your body cannot process what is happening, because your liver has been shut down. It's weird, I love doing that to people. Especially if someone's inspiring and they come from another gym and they're trying really hard and they're going really hard, maybe a bit too vicious, when you're working on stuff and sparring. I think if it's a sparring day, that's different. But if it's just they call it technical sparring, where you're only going 20% or whatever, full speed but low power. And if someone's starting to go for me there, I'll tag them back, and then I know I have this in the locker. Bop, and down they go. But going back to my whole point about killing for my children, whenever that would happen in a fight, I immediately, the caveman in me, didn't rush out and start trying to smash people. It'd be like, I now have to save my children. It's a weird way for your brain to work. I now have to save my kids. The person who hurt my kids is trying to hurt me. And I'd be invincible at that stage. Blood pouring down my face. So I think it's something that a lot of us have. Like the Irish mother has it. A lot of Irish dads have it. And it's something that's good. I think, obviously we have away from bloody trans and stuff. The protection of your close family is amazing. And as much as I love my kids, I'm not a big fan of other people's kids. I'm sure your kids are lovely. I'm sure they're cute. I'm sure they're brilliant. I'm sure they give great hugs and kisses and they wake up in the morning and all that. I just don't like them. Getting tired here, guys. It's 23, 26. It's 11.26 in euros. Um, yeah, nothing else really to report. But yeah, so this was a bit of a rant. So, and especially when you're covering such delicate topics. Where are we? Lusk. Where the fuck is Lusk? But yeah, especially when you're handling such delicate topics. If there's anything that I've said that needs correction or dialogue, discussion, any of that sort of stuff, if you have my number, use it. If you don't, kegolaughs@gmail.com. Gigs coming up this week on the way up in Belfast now. Saturday the 20th, Doyle's Corner. I have a gig for the Chelsea Supporters Club. I know nothing about Chelsea, so it'll be fun. And then I'm in Barrua in town, which is a great boozer, just off South William Street. I can't remember when that is. End of Jan, I think. Early Feb. And then the second Monday in February, heading to Galway, to the King's Head, for a gig down there. It's another competition. It's not a competition, it's just a gig. That's what I meant to say. The first gig of the year. Was I telling you about that? Can't remember. Yeah, I think I was. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then we kind of roll forward. So, and then kind of me mentally preparing to bring the kids to Harry Potter World in London over Valentine's weekend. So yeah, send prayers and money because I might need help. But yeah, if there's anything you need to correct me on, let me know. But otherwise, it's Monday night. It's 23:29. Hug those we love. Tolerate those we don't. And always, I don't know, just be sound.